Thrice the brindle cat hath mewed.
Thrice, and once the hedge pig whined.
Harp your cries! 'Tis time! 'Tis time!
Round about the cauldron go. In the poisoned entrails throw toad, that under Coldstone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom, sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble like a hell broth. Boil and bubble, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf, finger of birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's children, for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret, black and midnight hags? What is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me, though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yesty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's Germans tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak!
Dim man
Will answer!
Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 litter, grease and sweated from the murderer's gallows, throw into the flame!
Come high or low, thyself and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought! Hear his speech, but say thou not!
Macbeth. 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 Beware, Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded! Here's another, more potent than the first!
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Have to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet, I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it!
Lie mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earth-bound root? Sweet bodements good! Rebellious dead, rise never till the wood of Birnam rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more!
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs. This one is like the former filthy hags. Why do you show me this? Still more? Start eyes! What? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another still? I'll see no more. And yet the next appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so? Where are they? Gone. Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there!
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the Wayard sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse who wast came by.
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my lord.
Time, thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom? To leave his wife to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not, he wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest cuz, I pray you calm yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further. But cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you. It shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at their worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My dearest cuz, blessings upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sira, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they. My father's not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speaks with all thy wit, and yet a faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone!
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for they're all liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men. And hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Bless you, fair dame. I am to you not known. I fear some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a holy man's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I'm too savage to do worse to you a fell cruelty, which is to nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable. To do good, sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where's your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor! Young fry of treachery!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword. Each morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland.
What you have spoke It may be so, perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and 'twere wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there, where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave-taking? I pray you, let not my suspicions be your dishonors, but mine own safeties.
Bleed. Bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases sure, for goodness dare not check thee. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such an one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny, and it hath been the fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink, we have willing dames enough.
With this, there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a staunchless avarice, that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and this other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer-seeming lust. And it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath plenty to fill up your will, of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptered, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accused, and does blaspheme his breed. Thy father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee oftener upon her knees than on her feet died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeat'st upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff! This noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these strains, hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste, but God above deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction. And here, abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself: what I am truly is thine, and my poor country's the command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old seaward with 10,000 warlike men already at the point was setting forth. Now we'll together. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
Well, my ever-gentle cousin. Welcome hither, huh?
I know him now. Good God, may time remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, when nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seen to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps.
Oh, relation too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
Oh, how does my wife?
Why? Well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Well, be not a miser of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport these tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many a worthy fellow out in the field, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight.
Be it their comfort. We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward, and 10,000 men. An older and a better soldier? None in Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not catch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it bears some woe. Though the main part pertains to you alone.
Well, if it be mine, keep it not from me quickly. Let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them of the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
Huh. I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner, we're on the quarry of these murdered deer to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven. What man? Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children, too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said,
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children! What, all my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite! All! What, all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so! But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length, set him. And if he scape, heaven forgive him too.
Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.